A bit more. There we go. There's our recording. Thank you everyone for your participation. We're going to move on to our presentation today. Just a reminder to keep yourself on mute when you are not sharing so that we can limit the background noise. Today's webinar is being recorded and will be shared with you afterwards. So today I get the pleasure of introducing Liisa Freystaetter from Florida. She is a transformational mindset coach who empowers moms and young adults to discover potential, reconnect in their relationships, and show up as the powerful creators that they are. Liisa uses her many trainings, which include being a generational healing coach, a certified mindset facilitator trained through the David Beyer, and many more to dive deep into the unconscious thinking patterns that prevent change by dislodging limiting beliefs that are not beneficial and replace them with new powerful ones so that they can achieve all their dreams and goals. Today, Liisa will share about the emotional guidance system. And at the end of her presentation, there will be 5 minutes to write about based on her slide. And we'll also have breakout rooms later. 3 to a room. Well, it'll depend on how many we have. So, and after the breakout rooms, we will have some time for a few questions as well. And if you have any questions, we do have a chat box here. You can type them into the chat. And I'd like to say a word about our April program as well. It will be on Saturday, April 8th, 10 a.m. on the West Coast, 1 p.m. here on the East Coast, and look for more information in the newsletter. We'll share a slide at the end with the flyer. And let's welcome up Liisa.
Hi, everybody. First of all, Shauna, thank you for your nice introduction. I appreciate it. And Myrna, I am trying to share my screen here. And for some reason, I can't share it right now.
Try it again. I spotlighted you, so maybe we have to do it.
Yeah, that's right. So let me share it first.
Okay.
So yes, hi, everybody. It's my honor to be here and share with you something what has personally helped me a lot on my journey. Because oftentimes, when I don't feel good, when life does not go to my way and I don't feel good, I use this system to self-power myself to get back to a place where I have the creativity to create what I want to create in my life. And in this session, it's called Emotional Guidance System. I will say it's like a mental technology you can use to self-coach yourself to a better place, for a better feeling place, and train your nervous system to operate from a personal power and from love and compassion. So this is a very, very powerful method, and I'm very passionate about this. And I'm excited to share with you. So thank you for being here, and I welcome everybody. And so let me go to my slides here. So, and this teaching, what I'm teaching is based on David Beyer training, where I took the training as an as a mindset facilitator. And this system has helped thousands and thousands of people in their lives. So there are only 2 states of being. We are either in powerful state of being or a primal state of being. In a powerful state, we experience feelings like joy, excitement, passion, compassion, and peace, and all these emotions that feel good. And in primal state, we feel emotions like stress, anxiety, overwhelm, impatience, anger, jealousy, all kind of feelings, all feelings that don't feel good. And the primal state feelings go along with the feelings like I'm not good enough, I can't decide, I can't do it. All those emotions that just stops us from our own power. So we are always in one state or the other. We never in two states at the same time. So we are never angry or peaceful at the same time. We are never bored and joyful at the same time. We are either in a primal state or powerful state. And throughout the day, we go in and out from the powerful state and primal state. And then there's no judgment about it. Life happens, and we are humans, and our brains are always looking for danger and looking for survival. So it's normal we go in and out. But the key and why I have this presentation and why I'm so passionate about this is that the key for us creating everything we want in life, the life that we love and want, is to spend as much time as possible in a powerful state. So there is a direct correlation between the time we spend in a powerful state for our creativity, for our inspiration, and for our capacity. Because in primal state, we cannot really think. We cannot create anything. And so in primal state, we are cut off from infinite intelligence. And when we are in a primal state, we are in suffering. We are in survival. And usually we are entangled with the limiting beliefs that do not feel good. And we humans, we have been addicted, moving into stress, moving into anxiety and overwhelm, and finding problems. And when we are on primal state, we have activated our sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight nervous system. But when we are in a powerful state, we are thriving. We are connected to power higher than ourselves. When we are in a powerful state, we are feeling good. In this state, we have a restoration. We have a health and we have wealth in this state. This is where connection and passion is. This is where growth is. This is where our resourcefulness is. And we are connected to God in this state. And also our body functions better in this state. Because in a powerful state, we have activated our parasympathetic nervous system, which is the restoration and rest and relaxation. And so where does the primal state and the experience of suffering come from? That's a good question. So what we have found that suffering does not exist in the nature. But most people are experiencing psychological suffering day in and day out, most of their lives. Man has this unique capability of creating suffering in a world where suffering naturally doesn't exist. So during the day, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, maybe 2 hours here. And Myrna had this brilliant questions: how many hours a day are we feeling bad, or how many hours a day you feeling better? So we have this state that we go in and out, feeling good. Or we also might be in that constant stress, like having this background thoughts like, I'm not good enough, I have to figure it out, I'm not as far as long as I should be, I'm not capable. And all this thinking is draining our energy, and it drains our resourcefulness and productivity. So if we just could learn to be less of this, and just by by default, we would become more. If we just could see our thinking. So suffering is separate from the experience, and sometimes it's hard to accept this one. So often, if we are in, if we blame the experience, let's say we have an argument with our spouse, and we think that what he said caused us becoming angry. but in reality, it's not what they say. It's the belief that we have about the experience that is determining how we feel. We can go into inquiry, be curious. Why is he behaving that way or she? Or we can become angry. It's the thinking and meaning we have behind that experience. So let's, for example, let's take two people in this very same situation. Both have been fired from their jobs. One person thinks this is the end of it. He thinks that they're never going to get another job. They're never going to be able to pay their bills. They won't be able to support their family. Nobody's hiring. This person moves into suffering. So there's another person exactly in the same situation. And they believe that life is always working for them. Perhaps they get an even better opportunity. They realize they didn't enjoy their job anyway, even if it was okay, but they were not growing. And now they have an opportunity to find even better. And although they might be scared, they're going to go through this fine. So this person who thinks this way operates from the powerful state. So if you look at these two people, which person do you think more likely is going to find another job? Kind of obvious, right? And who do you think will be more creative and inspired on the way? And who is going to have more enjoyable experience on the journey? Because the truth is that our brain is like a goal-achieving machine. So what we think, that's what we are going to feel. And what we feel, that's what we are going to create in our lives. So that's why it's so important that we notice how we feel today, because what we feel today, we create our tomorrow. So it's very good practice that noticing the feelings. All suffering is caused by unintelligent thinking. There is no suffering in the experience. The suffering comes from one thing and one thing only. It's the meaning that we give to the experience. And Buddha talked about that. He said suffering is the problem because it's disconnecting us from our personal power. So there are thinking errors that cause negative feelings. And I wanted to talk about this a little bit. This is from the book from David Burns, Feeling Good. And he is listing 10 different thinking errors that can trigger feelings like depression, worthlessness, low self-esteem, hopelessness, anxiety, shyness, panic, all these emotions. And you can check his book. It's called Feeling Good, David Burns. And thank you, Kendra, for suggesting this slide for me, this book, because this is really powerful information to know. So first one is all or nothing thinking. We think about ourselves as and the word like black and white, all or nothing. If we fail, we may think we are complete failure. Or if we win, it can be positive or negative. If we win, we might be like we are superior. And number two is overgeneralization. We think about negative events as a never-ending pattern. Like if we are rejected, we can think that, oh, we are unlovable loser. Or other side, we may think that we always feel happy, so we are not sometimes realistic. So there can be either way, positive or negative way. And the next one is number three is mental filter. We think only about shortcomings and ignore our, we concentrate on our shortcomings and we ignore our positive qualities and our positive accomplishment. Or it could be the other way that we dwell on the positives and overlook the negatives. So it's good to look at that because sometimes we might be obsessing hours about what somebody said and ignore everything positive what happened. So we have all those filters we have created for ourselves. And then the next one is number 4 is discounting the facts. So when somebody compliments us, or we think that, oh, he's just saying that, they're not gonna mean that. Or on the other side, we might not care what other person says, and we might become defensive and insist that we are right and they are wrong. So we might discount the facts either way. Number 5 is jumping to conclusions. We might make conclusions without any facts. And there's 2 common conclusions. It's mind reading. Mind reading is we make assumptions about how other people are thinking and feeling. Or fortune telling, we make predictions about the future, which can be a bit positive or negative. So either or. Number 6 is magnification and minimalization. Either way, either we blow things out of proportion, or we shrink their importance, so things either look much bigger or much smaller than they really are. We may think like that this task is overwhelming and we never start, or we procrastinate, or we minimize the effects like, oh, I can still have one more piece of cake, either way we want. So because we can go either way. And the number 7 is emotional reasoning. So we might reason how we feel. Oh, I don't feel like cleaning my house today. I'm not in the mood. I just don't feel like right now. But remember, our feelings are misleading if our thoughts are distorted. So we can't always rely how we feel. And then number 8 is should statements. And we really totally make ourselves and others miserable with the shoulds, must, and oughts. And often I quote I should have not done it, or they should have not said that. And we can't change the past, we can't change the reality. It doesn't help anybody, the should statement. So should can be for me, it can be directed to others, or even to the world. So the word shouldn't be like that way. Then number 9 is labeling. We label ourselves and others. It's labeling is actually like an extreme form of overgeneralization. I'm loser, or I'm winner on the opposite side. And then number 10 is blaming, self-blame. It's taking all the responsibility. It's all my fault. Or blaming others and feeling victims. So it can be either way. So it's good to know it. And if you want to know more about details, take that book out. It's a really good book. Yeah, it's feeling good. So the really powerful truth is that we have found working with thousands of people. In every single case, when we spend enough time working with someone and looking at the thinking, we found that the thinking, which is the only cause of suffering, wasn't actually true. The truth is that moment by moment basis, life is always working for us to our greatest prosperity, greatest growth, greatest expansion, evolution, and joy. The truth that there are infinite possibilities, the truth that people want to hear our message, the truth that things are working for us, the truth that in every experience there's a gift or a blessing. And anytime we give meaning to an experience that is other than that, we move into suffering because it is not true. So anytime we believe that something is a problem, or the experience is bad, or the situation has somehow limited our capability, that's when we move into suffering. And God has gifted us an amazing tool. It's called an emotional guidance system. When we are entangled with the thoughts that are not aligned with the truth of reality, Our system is designed to move us into suffering, to signal us that our thinking is off, that we are giving a meaning to a situation that is simply not true. And the reason why we feel sometimes so bad is because our nervous system is not designed to hold that energy. So what it does, it creates like a dizziness in our nervous system to let us know. So the intelligent designer of human being gave us an emotional guidance system as a gift. When we are thinking, we are transmitting an electrical activity to our nervous system. So it's like an internal lie detector. So our body, our beautiful body is letting us know when we are not aligned with the truth, that we are not, when we are not feeling good. And this tool is really powerful because when we learn to use it, when we learn to notice in a moment how we feel, and then working on transforming our thinking. So when noticing how you feel, and then you realizing there's a thinking behind that goes in that feeling. So how do we find our way back? So step one is notice that you have moved into a primal state because you are not feeling good. So it doesn't matter what it is, just notice it. No matter what happened, if someone stole money from us, none of these are causing the suffering. The suffering is caused by the meaning we give to the experience. So if somebody stole money from us, we might think, oh, I'm never going to make the money back. I'm not going to have enough. I can't survive. All those feelings. Step two, acknowledge the feeling and look back. Okay, I'm feeling this way. What am I thinking right now? Or am I think, is my thinking not going to survive? So realize what you're thinking. I'm not going to survive. Number three, after identifying the thinking, and even though it may seem true right that moment, it is not true. And how do we know it's not true? Because it has moved us to a primal state and feeling bad. So our body lets you know you're not thinking the truth at the moment. So step three. So in that moment, when you realize that your thinking is not totally true, make new empowering decision. If our thinking is not true, then some form of opposite must be true. So if someone stole money from us, I can survive is not true. I mean, if I cannot survive is not true, then what is true? That I will survive. I will be okay. And step five is an important step. So find evidence why our new decision is true. So this is a very important part of the work. Why is it true that I can survive? Because I have always survived. I have always found a way to make money. I can find a way to get the money back. Look at your own life when you have made money, or look at life of others in the same situation, because if it's possible for them, it's possible for you. When we do this work and we find more and more evidence why our new decision is true, we start to spend more and more time in a powerful state. And this is really important to that we don't skip that part of the finding evidence, because it activates the parts of the brain that is aligned with the new decision, and it changes the way we think and perceive our lives. Otherwise, it may feel like affirmation and incantation or trying to convince. But when we find evidence, it becomes real for us. The truth is that the evidence was always there, but we just didn't pay attention to it. And just by applying these techniques, we can move back to a powerful, resourceful state where we get the ideas what to do. Because in a primal state, we can't find the solution. We can only find in a powerful state. So there is a moment of transformation, and it's the moment when we see our own thinking as untrue. And in that moment, there's an immediate shift in our brain and thinking. So in this work, we do not need to convince ourselves of new story or temporarily shift our state. Those methods don't create permanent change. Permanent change happens in the moment when we truly see that our thinking does not make any sense. So example, if we believe that I'm not good enough, when you realize that not being good enough does not make any sense, not having enough time does not make any sense. So then our brain does not want to spend any time on it. And instead, we will accept that whatever is happening in the moment, there is always a gift and a blessing. We don't see it right away, but there's always gift and a blessing. And living in that place, rather than living in the denial of the reality, what's unfolding around us, is much, much more powerful. And we can create much more in our lives. Yeah, so permanent change happens in a moment when we really see our thinking does not make any sense. I just wanted to repeat that. And we begin to see our limiting beliefs quickly as untrue. So there is we start to train our brains to see the intelligence of the thinking faster than before. And this is the fastest way to create transformation in your life, just to start training your brain and training your nervous system. Once we see our thinking as untrue, we can't unsee it. So the work around this is about observing our thinking until we see that it does not make any sense. And in that moment, we free ourselves from the suffering and move back to a powerful state where everything we want is. Because we only can create from a powerful state. And as a result, we start to experience life differently. We start to think differently. We start to become different people. And we start to create differently in our lives. So this methodology, what I'm introducing here, is a step-by-step process to train your nervous system, operating from parasympathetic, from rest, relaxation, restoration, and personal power, and not what we have been accustomed to as a result of our limiting beliefs that we learned at a very young age from people around us who did not know any better. All this thinking and resistance has been causing the suffering, and is the only thing that is preventing us from tapping into our highest potential and highest self. So now we would have a breakout rooms. I like to introduce what we would do. Should we ask questions, Myrna, later maybe, or now?
Yeah, let's do questions after the breakout room.
Okay. So here, if you have a paper and pen, create an empowering new decision. So think about the recent experience that was emotionally upsetting. So go to that moment. Don't hold anything back. Just feel the feeling. Allow yourself to feel the emotions, whatever. It doesn't matter what they were and if they're even right or wrong. Just what were you feeling? Whatever it was. And then step number 2, notice what you were thinking in that moment. So close your eyes, go to that moment, see what you were thinking. Number 3, ask yourself, is it true what I was thinking? How could it not be true? And number 4, if that's not true, what is true? And then make a new empowering decision and to find the evidence why this is true. So if it's complicated, I'm gonna say my own experience here first that you understand. So me personally, I often have this feeling that I don't have enough time. I go to this overwhelm and anxiety. I don't have enough time to get everything done, what I need to get done. So then, okay, so I'm feeling this way. then I noticed it. Okay, how could it be true that there is not enough time, that there is that is causing me this overwhelm? So then I think, okay, if that's not true, then what is true? That there is enough time, because it's usually the opposite. That the truth is that I have enough time to get everything what I need to get done. So then I ask myself, what evidence do I have for that there is enough time? And the truth is that because I don't need to get everything done today, most important is that I operate from the powerful state. I have my plan, but sometimes my plan is not the plan. Other things have showed up on my day, and or maybe I showed up, I procrastinated. I just didn't feel like doing it. It's okay. I don't need to be negative for myself. I'm learning from the process, but there's always enough time to get done what I need to get done, because we all have 24 hours a day. And what I didn't get done today was not meant to be done today. So notice the language you speak to yourself, because we speak very harsh language to ourselves. And focus on the new reality, what you want to create. Because when you don't give energy for the old belief, it starts to die off, like those brain cells start to dry off. It's like we're doing neurosculpting here. But on the other hand, the minute we keep focus on the old beliefs, they fire again. So this work is has to be done over and over, especially in the beginning. But if we do this work like 30 days, you will see the change. And this is the path for sovereignty. And this is the path for allowing yourself to be the greatest expression of who you are, and live from the place of self-love and compassion, and not where we're accustomed to as a place of fear. Because often we live in a place what we've been accustomed to be, so we fear and anxiety. So we don't want to be there anymore. Tony Robbins always asks, what's your emotional home? So what is our emotional home? So I just wanted to ask you, did you understand this work? Is anybody have questions about this breakout room? Or is it clear for everybody? If it's clear for everybody, we can take 5 minutes here and answer these questions, and then you go to breakout rooms. That sounds good for everybody? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna put music here.
Lisa, maybe you have to stop sharing and then check the box to share the audio and share your PowerPoint again, because I don't think, yeah.
One more minute. Is everybody ready? You need more time or everybody done?
I think we
Yeah.
can. Okay, so I'm going to open the breakout rooms and you'll have 10 minutes, 2 or 3 people in each room. And so divide the time so everyone has a chance to share. All right.
Okay, is everyone back from breakout rooms? I hope everyone had a very good breakout room. I was
Yes.
in the middle of a story. One day I'll finish it. Okay, so now we can have some time for questions and answers, or you can write it also in the chat if you would like. Maybe we have a few minutes for this. Anybody have specific questions that they'd like to ask Liisa? Or write it in the chat.
Oops. Yeah, I have a question. You were talking, she was talking about money, like say somebody steals money from you and you think, well, I'm okay, I can make more money. But recently I just had a thing online where somebody charged me when they shouldn't have, and it was only $30, but I can't help but feel like violated, and I am angry. I feel resentment about that. Like you tell people not to charge you and suddenly you see a charge. Anyway, the point is, sometimes you really do feel angry if there is an injustice done. And I mean, I guess you could just say, oh, well, $30, so what? But, it's this violation thing. So how do you kind of, navigate through this feelings of anger, resentment?
That's actually a very good question. So first of all, thank you for asking that, because that's a common question, because bad things happen, injustices happen, and it's okay to get angry. It doesn't mean that everything is okay. But what I'm talking about, the long-term psychological stress you carry out of it. Because if you stay in this place, like I'm so angry, they violated me, and now you are in a resourceless state. you
Oh.
kind of come to the solution, but how about you're angry and it's justified to be angry and it's okay. I mean, we have to honor our feelings. That's a violation. That's a lie. And but if you stay there, you cannot come for any solutions. But when you come to the new solutions, they did wrong, but I will find a way to find the money back. So what happens once you make that decision, you get ideas, maybe how you can recover that money. But if you stay in that powerless state, you just angry, but you don't find any solution.
I see.
Because your brain is not functioning
Right.
on that primal state. It's not functioning. You are like in the, we have this cortical frontex. That's where you have your ideas, and we are when a reptilian brain back here. You just angry. You stay in angry, and you're hurting yourself long run. So of course, bad things happen. And I don't mean that would be, you don't want to press them away either, of course, because they're violating you.
Yes, I see. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. It's true. You can't think clearly when you're angry. It's
No,
just
you can't. You can't, and you should never get to discussion when you're angry. I think Victoria, did you raise your hand?
Yeah, I realized I thought that she was finished. Are we talking about a new subject?
Oh, Diane, did you have anything else about it? No.
No.
Okay.
I'm good. Thank you.
I realized that I felt a little stuck with these questions. I don't know how to get out of my angst. So you mentioned the first part is to think about your emotional upsetting experience. And I feel angst around my boss. He gets angry very quickly from my point of view. And sometimes I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. He doesn't get angry at me, but he'll yell at the staff. And it makes me feel like, really upset and tense and like I don't want to be there. And so I'm asking myself, is it true what I'm thinking? And I don't know what I'm thinking. I just feel like discord.
So
I don't know.
Victoria,
Through.
when you are in that moment, let's go to the office. You're in the office, and your boss is yelling, and you start feeling anxious, as you say. What's the fear? What's the worst thing can happen to you? Why you feeling the anxiety? He's not angry to you. What's the fear there?
What's the fear there? It's just really uncomfortable and like grating on my nerves.
So
I get that he was angry with me and that I would be an invaluable person. I mean, a not valuable person.
Okay, so you're thinking that if he gets angry about you, you are an invaluable person. Is that true?
Unvaluable, yeah.
Unvaluable person. So if you are thinking if he gets angry at you, you are invaluable person. So Victoria, if somebody gets angry to you, does it mean that you're an invaluable person?
No.
But if your boss gets angry to you, you're an invaluable person. You have that belief?
I guess it's like really deep within myself.
It's very deep. It's very deep. There's
Yeah.
something there that you believe. There's either fear or belief about something, that something. If my boss gets angry to you, something bad happens. But let's say your boss gets angry to you, what could happen? What's the worst thing can happen?
I could get fired.
You could get fired. Has anybody gotten fired there when he got angry to somebody?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you have a proof. You have the evidence that, okay, so that's where the fear comes from. Now you have seen that he has got angry to somebody else and they got fired. And now you have that fear that if he gets angry to me, I get fired. That's the pain there. At least one. They can be deeper ones.
Yeah.
So is this true? So you have evidence it has happened. Has it happened every case?
No,
No. And has he ever gotten angry to you?
no, he gets, he looks at me like, are you sure you really did that? You know, he just looks at me and that's enough to make my heart palpitate.
Yeah, but when your heart palpitates, there's some kind of thought behind.
Okay,
Maybe the fear that I get fired. So let's say, because of time's sake, we don't have huge amount of time here to go in deep on a
Okay.
coaching. But let's
Okay.
say that you have this fear that, oh, if he believes that if he gets angry to me, I get fired. And now I'm asking you, is it true? Necessary? Is it true every time he gets angry to somebody, every time they get fired?
no,
Okay, so that fear is not true. So what is true? So the limiting beliefs is painful. It doesn't feel good. Every time you feel bad, there's a limiting belief behind. So
Okay.
it's not true. So what is true, Victoria?
He has some pain he's not dealing with. I don't know. He has pain.
Right. So he has pain, but let's talk about you now, because you have a fear. So we can't coach him. He's not here. We coach
Yes.
about you. So,
Yes.
so you have this fear that I get fired. So what could be the new empowering decision for you that you could be more feeling a little better in the office, that you don't need to feel that primal state and fear and angst in the office, because that takes your resourcefulness away, even do a better job. So
Right.
what could be the opposite of it? It has to be your language. So I'm asking you, what could be the opposite of your limiting belief?
Um, uh, I'm stuck.
Do you
I,
mind that it can, you allow me to suggest to you something?
yes.
And if
Yes.
it doesn't feel right for you, please say no, because it has to fit right for you.
Okay.
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 So you say, I'm always okay, regardless what he says.
Okay.
I'm always, I'm doing good work here. I'm always going to be fine. So I don't know if this, and then you find evidence why it is true that I'm always going to be fine. One, because you find evidence from the office. You do a good job. I believe you do a lot of good job. I don't think, you have a lot of evidence why it's true that, proof that your new decision is true. And
Mhm.
that the feeling of this is so much better than the feeling of I get fired if it gets angry to me. Now you said, I'm always going to be okay because I do a good job. That could be because whenever you make a new decision, you start getting ideas how to become like that. Also, you send different energy for your boss. Your boss feels your energy. Oh, Victoria's energy changed.
Okay.
And he
Yeah.
can change because you change, because you are breaking the behavioral loop.
Okay.
So it's a really powerful work, but it takes a little bit deep. Sometimes you don't see that limiting belief right away, but it's always there. Does it make any sense for you?
Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
great. You're welcome.
Thank-
Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome. Yeah.
I love watching like a powerful, raw coaching kind of session right before me. I think we can learn so much just from that. So shall we move on, Ms. Myrna, to announcements?
I think we have time for one more question. I have
Okay.
one if no one else does.
Okay.
How do you help yourself if you're kind of disconnected from or numb from what you're feeling, like if you're not so in touch with what your body is telling you?
Yeah. So your question is, how do you feel when you don't know how you feel, basically? So how do you get catch up yourself, how you feel? So first of all, you notice, first of all, that now Okay, so there's a different levels of primal state. Numb is still a primal state, because numb is not something what you are creating. That you are not thriving, you are not inspired, you are not jumping with joy. You are just like just numb. And just noticing it. Stop everything what you do. Stop. I mean, if you're driving a car, don't stop the car, but stop everything. If you and think, okay, why I'm so numb? Start inquiry on yourself. I'm feeling numb. Something is causing it. Something is causing. How do I know how I feel when I don't know how I feel? That's actually very common, because sometimes we have life happens and it's hard, sometimes we protect ourselves with the numbness because we don't want to feel any pain. It's easier to be numb than feel a pain. So I notice it. I am numb. It's okay. And there's no judgment. One thing, there's no judgment. You don't want to say I shouldn't feel this way. It's okay. I'm feeling this way. Honor your feelings. I'm feeling numb. And then inquiry, self-inquiry. And you will find the answers actually behind there when you really go to silence. What do I protect? It's some kind of self-protection underneath. Because we all are protecting ourselves from pain. We experience pain as a child. And we're very wounded. And many behaviors we are protecting ourselves, not experiencing that pain, whatever method it is. Numbness can be one method of not experiencing that pain. But if you allow that emotion to come, that's the only way you can release it. Does it make sense, Myrna, for you?
Yeah, it does. Like, I know that I struggle sometimes. I'm getting better, but I struggle sometimes with the meditation because then I have to be still. I'm a doer, so I have to be still and, pay attention. But are there other tools that you recommend to people who have difficulty? Like, I've used tapping, emotional freedom technique. Are there other ones that help people to be still and to access that?
So first of all, not everybody is the same. Not everybody does the meditation the same. For me, meditation is easier when I walk. And actually, a lot of people do the physical activity can change the state of the mind. So some people talk about power pose alone can lift up your, that power pose, standing like this can lift up your spirit. Also, maybe like putting a music and putting really wild music and dance, because that gets you out of that static place where you are. So there's so many methods. It's no one way. You don't need to sit on the couch and try to meditate because we are not made the same way. Some people can visualize, some people can create any pictures on their mind. But I pray the best, and I get into that. I go walking. That's my way of refreshing my soul. So and there's also walking meditations, by the way. Have you heard about those?
Yeah, I have.
But so you need to actually find a way what works for you. But I do tapping also. And emotion code is very good since you are emotion practitioner. When you really feel that numb, you can do the emotion code. Because you're the practitioner too for that. Yeah. There's many tools to try. But thank you, Myrna, for asking that.
Okay, maybe we can turn it back to Shauna. Oh, somebody else. Sorry, somebody asked a question. I think we have time to answer it.
Yeah, someone asked a question in the chat.
Yeah, so there's a walking meditation from Joe Dispenza. I'm not sure if you can find it online, but there's a walking meditation. He does walking meditations. Are you familiar, Marina, with Joe Dispenza?
Yes, Liisa. I can search it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's on the line, but I have somewhere actually. I'm gonna email you. I have your email. So I think I have one. If I can find it, I send you one.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you, everyone, for good questions. Yeah, I'm supposed to just give it back to you, Ms. Marina, about announcements for next month.
Okay, I'm just going to share my screen. Actually, next month, we have returning, because she has come to us before, Mayumi Coleman, and she actually will probably be a good follow-up to Lisa's presentation today, because her presentation is very hands-on and about doing daily energy exercises. And she presented one maybe a year ago, which we'll put the link in the follow-up news, the newsletter. So it will be the second Saturday, April 8th, from 10 to 11:30 Pacific time.
Okay. Well, I guess that concludes our March session. Thank you very, very much, Liisa. And look forward to seeing you all April 8th for our next session. Thank you for coming.